Matt Walsh, the self-proclaimed protector of young girls against grooming, thinks that 16-year-old girls totally ready to settle down, get married, and have babies.
Ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Even biologically, and this is me just stating, I'm going to start by just stating facts. Girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay? That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. But what happened recently, and this is the fourth fact, recently in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy, it's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society. It's only problematic when you are not married and you don't have the man there to help you take care of the kids because he's a coward.
So yeah, that's Matt Walsh talking about the fertility of 16-year-olds. And we're supposed to believe that, what, he doesn't have a very suspicious browser history? That he's a protector of girls against grooming? I mean, ugh. All right, so look, he also says, guys, it's not the teen pregnancy is an issue. No, I think it's totally fine. It's just these young girls are not getting married. If only they just get married to a man, preferably someone who's much, much older. You know, maybe in his 30s, you know, so that the 16, 17-year-old girl, they can just be a good little housewife and be barefoot and pregnant, just the way that God intended. And you know what that sounds a lot like? Arranged marriages. Hey, you know who happens to be on the record supporting arranged marriages? This guy. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah. Arranged marriage would be vastly preferable to the modern approach to dating. Really, almost anything would be better. So that's not saying much, I suppose. Look, he's also went on his show talking about how arranged marriage is good because, you know, dating is like trying to find mustard when there's just too much mustard. Okay. Interesting. Now, I've got more in the next clip. Walsh is also going to argue that when it comes to babies, teenage girls who are 16-year-old should be treated exactly like adults in that, and only that context, by the way. In no other context, because remember, Matt Walsh is against bodily autonomy. He's not in favor of, you know, women controlling their own reproductive rights and being treated adults like that. But when it comes to being married and having babies, Matt Walsh thinks, no. You're more than old enough.
If society was different and that we stopped insisting that you're a kid until you're 25 and we just deal with the reality that at about 16 you're an adult who is mature and can make decisions. You are that at 16. I don't care what anybody says. And if you're going to tell me it's different, well, then how come for the first 10,000 years of human civilization, that's the way it was? It's just recently where all of a sudden we're all retards until we're 25. And I got some more news for you. 17-year-old girls and 18-year-old girls that are still in high school or just getting into college, many of them want, biologically and metaphysically and with everything in their body, they want to settle down, they want to start a family, and that's always going to be that way no matter what you do.
And I think a good example as to why that's probably true is the horse behavior of these same-aged girls when they get to college.
Sluts.
They start, you know, these girls, believe me, when I went to the University of Maryland, I was a little bit older than everybody. It was like you get there and you see these like innocent girls, and by the end of the year, it's just like the stories you've heard about them. It's like this internal need to breed, and it just comes out at the wrong time. They're out there trying to get an education, but meanwhile,
they can't. Wrong time. That's to biology. That's the perfect time. That's when they're, like Matt said, is most fertile. But society has told you that when you're 18, that's when you're an adult, not when you're 16 or 17.
And that's the problem.
And then,
wow, there is so so much of that is horrifyingly disgusting. But just the fact that you have these older men that are sitting there and talking about the fertility of 16, 17-year-old girls in the context of having babies. What is wrong with you people? And by the way, I just got to note him dropping an ableist slur in there, just for good measure, right? Now, one of the co-hosts, by the way, Andrew Muir, he was the one that called college girls slutty. So now, him and his co-hosts, they think that college girls, well, they're slutty because they have a need to breed. That's what it is. Yes, because they're so incredibly fertile. Yes, and so that's why they're whoring around. Yeah, And they tie it all to this weirdo, oh, it's biology. They're the most fertile. That's why we need to make it legal for 16, 17-year-olds to go and get married and have babies. No, it sounds like you're the ones who are interested in having babies with 16 and 17-year-old girls. High school girls. I mean, it sounds like they're really making an impassioned plea for this, to lower age of marriage, maybe lower age of consent in places where it, is older than 16, 17, so that, they can get involved in that. Look, Matt Walsh, you heard him. Those are his words. He's making the argument that this is a good thing, that this is completely natural, and wanting more teen girls to become mothers and trad wives before they hit their 20s. Forget your career, forget, having fun and, discovering who you are and getting an education, what you do with your life. Just go have babies. Go and get married. Wow. I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like groomer behavior. Just saying. And look, it's not an accident, right? I think the reason groomers target teens and young children is because, look, they're easier to control than an educated woman that happens to be in her mid-20s and 30s. I think that really illustrates who these men are. They can't stop talking about going back to the good old days, the 1950s, right? Where you can, impregnate minors, and that was totally normal. Everybody thought that it was great. I got news for you. You can call yourself traditional all you want and whine about those days. But in reality, you're just really showing that you're a groomer.